gon' pull up with them sticks and hop out with them choppers. Walking out the 10 in blue Balenciagas. I caught her out, now I got blood on blue Balenciagas. Up that 40, let that pistol sing a melody. Fuck all of that talking, we can go to war. Need your brain marinating on the boulevard. I got something that'll put you out your misery.
What's up YouTube, Fabrician here. Wow, I know I said in the last video that it was gonna be like 2-3 days until I put this one up. Ended up being a week. The reason being is because the weather is super fucking nice today. It has been shittier than all hell for the past couple days. Before we get into this video, I want to specify a couple things. Yes, I am using my earbuds, so you guys may hear that little sound, and I'm sorry. It's just easier for me to concentrate with my earbuds in when I walk. Like if I don't have them in, I'm gonna get off topic because I'm gonna look around at stuff. The earbuds just keep me focused on what I'm doing. Second, like I said, I'm aware that it's windier than fuck, so you guys are gonna hear the noise. I'm gonna try to talk louder than the wind because I'm better than the wind. Second thing, shit, what was it? There we go. Yeah, this video is going to be long. Normally my videos are about anywhere between 10 minutes till about 17 minutes. That's the rough estimate of time. This one's gonna be about 30. I'm going for an especially long walk today so I can make sure that I got this video. I just woke up and I was like, fuck it, today's the day. The wind's really okay, I guess. It's been worse, but the weather's beautiful. I've got a full pack of cigarettes. Let's go do this video. So this video is gonna be long. If you don't wanna sit through it, I'm not gonna put the times in so that you guys know when to fucking skip ahead, because when it comes to editing, I am shit. I literally just take the video, name it, and upload it. Like, no time for editing. I don't have the computer for it anymore. My computer's gone. I've got to get my other little tablet fixed. My Surface that I did my videos on, that's gone. I mean, I've got it. I just don't have a charger. I need to go get a new one. And a new fucking keyboard, so that's some bullshit. But, so this video is going to be long. You guys are going to have to deal with that. Like I said, we're already 2 minutes into this, and I haven't even sparked a cigarette yet. Oh God, how I miss marijuana. Wow. Okay. Well, this is the video that you guys may or may not have been waiting for. I know I've been kind of excited to do it, kind of scared to do it. These are what I'm smoking today. Eagles 20s. My grandma picked these up because they're cheap and they're menthol. For any of you that don't know, I have a supreme peppermint addiction. Like candy canes, spearmint, all that. If it's in the house, it's gone, like super quick. So I'm gonna try to light this with this fucking wind. First try. Awesome. Okay, it is muddy, so I'm walking around that. My shoes are still probably gonna get a little wet. Anyways, this video, my prison experience. I've had several people write to me and say, hey, I really enjoyed the jail video. I really want to hear what prison was like. And of course, I got out December 14th. Almost every day since then, somebody new has talked to me, somebody new has contacted me that I was friends with, or, that wants to be friends with me now. And one of the first questions that they asked me was like, so you were in prison? Yeah. Well, what was that like? And they always say, if you don't mind me asking, I can understand it's a touchy subject. It's not a touchy subject at all. It's part of my life. It's something that I went through, and I'm glad to share it. I'm glad to share it with my YouTube family. So that's what this video is going to be. But before we get into that, one more thing. I'm super sorry. I got to give some shout outs. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Jaybird, because this dude literally went and watched my videos. And this is a dude I ain't talked to in years. I'm talking years, right? Like I went to middle school with this kid. I would have been a senior last year, if that tells you, how long it's been. And he wrote me yesterday on Snapchat and he said, hey man, I just watched your videos and you are one of the most entertaining people that I've seen just walking and talking. Keep it up. I really enjoyed the videos. Keep making more. That made me feel really good. Another friend, Ashton, that's how her Snapchat and her Instagram are. It's like 3 or 4 S's and then like 2 or 3 N's. I don't know. I'm not going to look at it right now because I'm making the video. But I want to give a shout out to her because I told anybody on my Instagram and on my Snapchat, if they went and subscribed and they DM'd me and told me that they were subscribing, I'd give them a shout out. I also want to give a shout out to, there was one more person, fuck it. Gabby, hello, Gabby. I'm not gonna say your last name, but it's Gabby T. I worked with you at McDonald's. If you know who the fuck I'm talking about, you should. Son of a fuck, this wind's terrible. Thank you. Okay. God, I'm already 5 minutes in. It's gonna be a long video anyways. She was my 100th subscriber, guys. I don't think you know what that means to me. Not just the fact that somebody who I've been friends with for a long time was my 100th subscriber, the fact that we hit 100 subscribers. We're at like 109 right now, going on to 110, and I can't tell you just how good that really makes me feel, to let me know that I'm actually doing something that people want to watch. You know, I understand I'm not the most entertaining in the world, but I'm entertaining. Oh God, I've got to deal with a loud truck, son of a bitch. And there's a car coming behind me, motherfucker. Oh, it's not that loud, could have been louder. Just sounded louder far away. But yeah, we just hit 100 subscribers. I actually got a little notification from YouTube. It said congratulations, and that made me feel so good. So I wanted to say thank you to you guys. There's your shout outs. I know I probably could have done something better. I could have like thrown up your picture and stuff, but son of a fuck, this wind, god damn. And the wind just blew me back. So I apologize ahead of time for how this wind's gonna be. I probably could have asked my grandma if I could have just went and sat in my car, because she's got my keys. I'm currently on car restriction right now. I probably could have done that, but I gotta get my walk in for the day. Whew, thought it was out. All right, so let's get into this video. I'm not dreading this, but you know, I've been really thinking about it hard. So, May 15th, if you watched the last video, May 15th, I want to say, it's either 15th, no, it was May 17th. May 17th, I got sentenced. I got sentenced to 6 months on the YOA program, and they're like, you know, be ready to pack your stuff. 4:30 in the morning on May 22nd, you know, they came and got me from my room and they said, you know, it's time. Don't fucking honk. Fuck, asshole. They're driving the speed limit. They're doing okay. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. May 22nd, they told me to pack my stuff, and I got on the bus. You know, they gave me a little paper bag. They put me in an orange jumpsuit. They gave me, you know, they put handcuffs on my hands and on my legs, and I sat in this crowded bus with people that I had actually grown to know in my pod. Really cool. My buddy Mike, my buddy Rob, and a couple other people, and I was the only one going to the YOA. There were 2 other kids in there. I got sentenced to 15 years for an armed robbery, and that scared me a lot. So when I got to this place called Kirkland. It's called Kirkland R&E. Basically, that's where you go before you go to a prison where, I mean, it's a prison. It's technically a level 3 maximum security prison, and that's where they put you while they like decide which prison you're gonna go to. While they do your blood tests, while they do, you know, your physical, check your eyesight, all that, see what kind of mental your condition you're in, all that. Well, I sat there, and you walk in, you know, you get your mat, and all you hear is just people banging on these doors. And these doors, they're rickety. I mean, they're solid, don't get me wrong, but like it's just really shitty in there. Like, the place was absolute shit. Now, when I got in there, people had been on lockdown for like the past month and a half because there had been a guy stabbed and killed and at a place called Libra. Also, there had been, you guys might have seen it on the news for those of you that are around here, and I believe it made national news too. There were 7 inmates killed at a place called Lee County down here, and that's a maximum security down here. That's a really bad prison. And those people died. So we were all on lockdown. When I got there, they had just gotten off lockdown. Well, they'd wake you up every morning at 4:30 in the morning to make sure you're still alive. They'd make you hop off your bunk, then hop right back up. They'd count you about 9 times a day, and you would just sit in this cell all day. because we were on the Y, and because people are so stupid on the Y that like to go out and they like to fight and be tough guys, we could never have a wreck. We were barely allowed to go to the cafeteria. So when I was there, you know, I stayed in that room most of the time, and God, was it hot. So I mean, mind you, this is from May. I was there from May 22nd till June 26th. I believe June 26th. I think it was a Wednesday. And that room was so hot. Like, there's no air conditioning. At one time, the COs had to actually bring around buckets of ice just to give it to us and put it in our cups. So June 26th, after a month, I finally got classified. I finally found out where I was going. They said, you're going to Trenton. And I was like, okay. Now there's 2 YOAs. Well, actually there's 3, but we're only going to talk about 2 of them. There is Trenton and there's Turbeville. Now, Trenton is like an open dorm. If any of you guys have ever been in an Army boot camp, it's something like that. That's the best comparison that I can give it to. I'm going to go in more depth about that, but it's basically just a bunch of beds all lined up in one room. And like, you know, I can see the dude on the other side of the dorm. He can see me. It is that close. Now, the other place is called Turbeville. Turbeville just got off lockdown at the start of the year. Like January 1st, they just got off lockdown because they had some problems, and a guy had been there and he had gotten stabbed and killed in the YOA, not even like a full-time inmate. So I got there, and I remember going in, you know, they strip search you, they make sure everything's all right, they've got all your supplies, they catalog it. And when you get in there, you know, like the realizations hit all the way by the time that you're at Kirkland that you're in prison. But now you're at the prison that you're going to be at until the end of your bid, which is, you know, the time that you're there. That's what they call it, is a bid. I'm going to be using a lot of slang, and I'm going to try to translate it the best that I can. I mean, a lot of it's pretty simple to understand, but I'm still going to go through it for those of you that don't understand. So when I got there, met a couple of the officers. You know, I was there with a couple of the people that had been there with me, and some of the people had already been there before, so they told me what it was like. They said, where you don't want to go is CD side. Where you do want to go is AB side, but you can only go to AB side if you PC, which is protective custody. Basically, you say, I can't handle what's going on in here. I'm scared for my life. I need to be protected. And they will move you to lockup, or they will move you to another dorm. Or not to another dorm, but to another side. So they went through all my stuff. They cataloged it, found out, you know, what I had. And they're like, all right, here's your bed number. I was D32 or 33, something like that. So, you know, we sat down with our lieutenant of the dorm, and she asked us, one of the first things she asked us was, you know, where are you from? And, you know, everybody told her. And apparently there's a big problem there because there's 2 big, you know, rivals here. I'm not gonna get into anything gang related. I'm not going to talk about that because A, that could put a mark on my head, not literally, but you know, it could have people notice me. And B, because, you know, I've got to be respectful to those people, so I'm not gonna get into that at all. So anybody that's thinking about asking, I'm gonna tell you now, I'm not gonna put it in my videos. I'm not gonna mention it, not in the least. Just putting that out there, disclaimer. So the 2 rivals that are there, though, are Columbia and Charleston. For those of you that aren't in South Carolina, I'm assuming you've heard of Columbia before, and I'm probably assuming that you've heard of Charleston. If you haven't, they are 2 big areas in South Carolina. Columbia is our capital, and Charleston is our big harbor down in the bottom. Now, those are 2 very big people that come to the YOA. Like, there are a lot of people that, you know, commit crimes, so they go to the Y. So, you know, they always ride with each other. You know, they always, you know, stick with each other. Now, Charleston is part of the 843, part of where I'm from. I'm from Myrtle Beach. I was like one of like 3 people from Myrtle Beach. Everybody else was from Charleston, Columbia, Greenville, Sumter, like that. So I was very few and far between there. So, you know, she asked where we were from. She told me, she was like, you're probably going to do good with the Charleston people then. You seem like a nice kid. You seem really smart. You know, do you have your GED? I said, no. She said, do you have your high school diploma? I said, no. She goes, all right, well, I think you'll get it pretty quick. You seem really smart. I was like, okay. And she goes, we were all sitting around this circle. She said, you know, I'm gonna ask you guys now, who's scared? And of course, nobody's gonna raise their hand because, you know, they want to seem big and bad. And she's like, all right, well, I'm telling you now, you're gonna get in there, and they either gonna make you, in terms for the video, they're gonna make you their bitch, or what they call it, which is a June bug, June. I don't fucking know what it means, but it's, you know, like sort of, you're somebody's bitch in all essentially. Like, not meaning you gonna get fucked in the butt. I am specifying that now. That does happen there. Did not happen to me. I cannot stress that enough. That did not happen, but that does happen. It is a real thing. So, you know, we got our mats and we walked down there, and she said, look, she said, you're either gonna become somebody's June or you're gonna have to fight. That's the way that it goes down here. There's no way around it. It just goes. So I get down there, and I didn't even know what I was expecting. Like, when they said open dorm, I was expecting like this big building, you know, 2 stories, floors up and down, with you know, like rooms up top and bottom. Nothing like that. So I remember I walked in, and there was just about 60 or 70 people crowding the door, you know, hooting and hollering, telling, like, oh, there's some new people, stuff like that. And I walked in there. First thing I did was I found my bed, and I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, if I ever get anybody else in this video that was in there with me, they will tell you this is the exact truth. I went and sat down on my bed. I did not unpack my stuff. I was terrified. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was fucking shitting. So I put my stuff down. I immediately reached in my bag, and the first thing that I grabbed was my Bible. And I just sat there and read for like a good solid hour. You know, people came up to me, tried to ask me for stuff, and I was like, nah, you know, I'm just trying to do my time and go. Within about 10 minutes of being there, I saw a guy that I'd been friends with at Kirkland, or not even friends, but, you know, like acquaintances with at Kirkland. And within 10 minutes of being there, somebody had tried to take his stuff. He fought back, and then he had about 5 people jumping. Scared the living fuck out of me. Like, we've been here 5-10 minutes, and I just watched this dude get beat. Like, I'm talking like blood is gushing down his head, and he just got up, walked it off. You know, they cleaned him up, and they're like, all right, you're good. And I'm like, all right, well, when's my time coming? You know, this has got to happen eventually. Well, nothing happened. All right, like, I sat there, I waited, nothing happened. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Just nothing happened. I mean, eventually something did. Basically, you know, over time I kind of adjusted. You know, I got my canteen. I'd sit there, I'd read every day. I read so much, and I actually started writing 2 of my books. But it was just a very scary experience for me, because I was sitting there in this place where there's actual, you know, criminals, like people that are, you know, actually big, people that could have killed people. And I'm in there for something relatively small. You know, there are people there, the max that you can be there for is 3 years. But however, like, I think it's 9 months before your 3 years is up, you can get what's called a setback, which is where they set you back, where they, you know, extend your time if you do something stupid, if you get caught doing something stupid, stuff like that. So I remember I was sitting there, you know, my time kept on going. I was reading my books every day. I was talking to people, you know. I'd started to get adjusted. I'd started to get comfortable. That's when things went wrong. Never, ever let yourself get comfortable. So I was sitting there, and a guy came up to me. It was probably about 11 o'clock. No names are going to be mentioned. Not even nicknames, because I'm respectful of that. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I lost this fight. I straight up lost this first fight. I probably fought about 5 times. I'm not going to get into stories about all of them, but I won a couple and I lost a couple. Let's put it that way. Now, he had come up to me and he was like, hey man, how you doing? I was like, oh, you know, I'm doing good. I'm just reading my book. Now, me and this guy have been, you know, kind of jokey for the past couple days. You know, like, oh, haha, you know, like, he's like, let's fight. And I'm like, nah. And he's like, yeah, all right, you good. You know, like, it had been really chill. Well, he walked up to me and I was laying in my bed, you know, I was under my blankets. And he was like, what's up, Breeze? I'm like, nothing. You know, what's up with you? He's like, oh, not shit. He's like, I'm gonna just tell you right now, we gonna beat you. And I'm like, you know, I think it was another joking matter. And I'm like, oh, haha, you know, that's cool. You know, just let me finish my chapter. He's like, nah, we gonna beat you right now. He called another guy over and he's like, come on. And as soon as I heard him call the other guy, me and this other guy had problems the entire time, and I knew what I was in for. I was like, all right, this is the real deal. This is time, you know, put your boots on, time to fucking be a big man. Fuck this win. So, as this happened, you know, I'm like, okay, let's do this shit. It's time. It's now or never. Well, he had taken my book and he had thrown it on the ground and he had smacked me over the back of the head. Like, not even like smacked me, like clubbed me with his fist. So I got up and we just started fighting. Like I said earlier, I'm not gonna deny, I lost. You know, I had a semi-black eye. He probably didn't have too much of a mark on him. I did get him a couple times, but he got me the majority of the time. Granted, this is one of my first fights that I've ever been in. You know, like prison or not prison, this is one of my first fights. And I lost, I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, it definitely, he came up to me afterwards. You know, I went and sat down on my bed. You know, I made sure that my mouth wasn't bleeding. I made sure that my nose wasn't bleeding. I went and checked my face in the mirror. I seemed pretty all right. And he came up to me. He goes, I want you to know, because you fought back, I got a newfound respect for you. I ain't gonna fuck with you no more. We really cool now. I'm like, all right. You know, he's like, you fought back good. He goes, I'm pretty respectful of that. He goes, normally people would just back down. You did good. Thank you. I'm like, yeah. Truth be told, we had no more problems. We actually became really kind of cool. The fuck? Ain't no way. Oh no, that's closed. Okay. So probably about a week after that, RLT was coming in and she was moving people on their beds because we had people from AB side come over here to CD side because they were fixing like plumbing and like the roofs over on D side or on AB side. And she gathered a list and she asked if I wanted to go over to AB side. And I was like, well, what's the difference? She was like, it's just a lot more chill over there. You know, there's not a lot of stupid shit going on. People don't do just dumb shit to do dumb shit. Now, CD side stands for, to us, crash dummy. If you guys know what a crash dummy is, hello. You guys have like seen, you know, like test cars and all that where they, you know, do test crashes. Like a crash dummy, they do stupid shit to see just how much they can get away with. That means that they're slapboxing probably about 18 out of the 24 hours of the day. Like, you'll look around you all day and you'll just see people, you know, wailing on each other, and they take it as, you know, it's a game, it's fun. I didn't want to be a part of that. You know, I didn't want to get sucked into something stupid and I get, you know, a setback. I was trying to go home to my family. When I found out that I got to go home in December instead of January, I was ecstatic. Like, I didn't even know what to do with myself. Now, on my last day there, I'd been told two things. Not on my last day there, on my last day on CD side, I've been told two things. A, you know, it's canteen day, and B, I'm going to take my GED in like 3 days. So I was super excited. I'd been there for all of a month. This was like unheard of there. Like, people did not go get their GEDs after a month there. Because I'm not gonna lie, people there are relatively fucking stupid. Not all of them, no. There's a great few that are incredibly smart. Like, I met college kids that were super smart, made me look stupider than fuck. But, you know, because of the education system down here in South Carolina, kids can't really grasp it. They don't teach you too well. So there were kids there that didn't know how to do basic subtraction. Well, my last day there on CD side, I remember I went over there and we got in our canteen, we came back, and there was a big fight that happened. I saw people, you guys know what a ravioli can is, I'm assuming. Well, there was a guy who had some problems with another guy, and there was a ravioli can inside of a sock, and he was swinging it at people and they were swinging him back. It was fucking crazy to see that actually happen, to see people get hit in the face with what's relatively a full can of ravioli. Now there it's Jack Mac, which is, you know, mackerel, the fish. But, you know, I'm just giving it a ravioli comparison so that you guys know what I'm talking about. And, like, I could hear the connect on people's face, like the clunk, and, like, you know, like blood just starts gushing out of people's head. And it was mind-blowing to me. Like, you know, just set in the fear again of, I'm in prison. You know, I'm with real-life, scary-ass people. I do not belong here. I mean, I belong there because of what I did. That's very, very understandable. I did a crime. I deserve to serve for it. But you know, to see what my future could have become was absolutely terrifying. So I got my stuff packed up, and me and a bunch of other people, we went back over to AB side, and the difference, like, I can't even stress the difference was night and fucking day. Like, not even night and day, like night in Antarctica, like super fucking blackout, not a light in the sky, none of that shit, and like a daytime in the Sahara Desert. That is how fucking different this place was. Like, everybody there was just quiet. Like, it was relatively relaxing, I guess you could say. People called it the retirement home because that's for the people that were there typically, who were there for 18 months to 3 years, because they would just sit over there, they would do their time without getting in trouble. So when I went over there, I met a couple cool people. I met my buddy Colorado. I'm gonna mention him a couple times in this video and probably future videos. I met my buddy Shiloh. I met my buddy Eli. I met Bigaba. Let me explain to you why we call him Bigaba real quick. You guys aren't gonna find this funny as I do, but Bigaba is about my height, a little bit taller, big anime fan, really cool dude, and he's bald. He's a black guy. He's bald, because you don't see a lot of white bald guys in there. That's kind of weird. But he was bald, and I said, well, why do they call you Bigaba? And he said, it stands for bitch, I got a bald ass head. I said, no. And he was like, yeah, it stands for bitch, I got a bald ass head. I'm like, that's funnier than shit, man. He goes, yeah. He goes, so just call me Biggs. I'm like, okay. So, you know, I met him, I met James, I met my buddy Quan. Like I said, I met Eli, I met my buddy Chief, I met my buddy Swerve. And, you know, like, I actually got along with people over there. We would all sit there and we would just, you know, we would shoot the shit. You know, we'd talk every day. We did puzzles, we played cards, which I have a newfound hatred for. I never want to play cards again. But that side was just so relaxed. Like, you know, I'd wake up, it was quiet. You know, there wasn't a lot to deal with. Now, about a month into my time being there over on AB side, when I was over on B side, I made a stupid mistake. I'm gonna stress this was my fault, and you guys are gonna say that it sounds, you know, really like outlandish for this to happen, but you've got to remember that some people will take this as a disrespect, and, you know, they're gonna take action upon it because they don't want to look disrespected in front of other people. So basically, I had left a cup of water in the day room, which is kind of like where our microwave was, where our second TV was, where there was a table so that you could play cards and cook some food. That was the day room. I had left a cup of water in there. Well, just before we had went to dinner, it had spilled, like, you know, like spilled all over the floor. And I was like, oh shit, well, I'm about to clean it up. And they're like, nah, it's Chow, go to Chow. I'm like, okay. So I went to Chow and I completely forgot about it. Like, I forgot about, you know, me spilling the water. So I just went and I sat down and I started watching TV. Well, somebody came up to me and they're like, hey, Breeze. I said, yeah. They said, were you the one that spilled water in the day room? I'm like, hold on. It's fucking lawnmower. Probably should have walked on the other side of the street. All right. I think you guys can hear me now. They're like, were you the one that spilled the water in the day room? And I was like, oh shit, yeah, that was me, my bad, I forgot, let me go get it. So I went and I got a mop and I mopped it up, right? Problem solved. Well, in the time that it took for me to go get the mop, so much rumor had spread, because people have nothing to do there besides try to see people fight. You know, they want to see conflict. So rumor had been spread that I had went and thrown the water on somebody, that I had thrown jalapeno juice on somebody, that I had said, fuck you guys, I'm not cleaning up shit, you're all bitches, a bunch of shit like that. Basically anything that could be said to get me, you know, like a target on my head. So I didn't know this. I just cleaned up my mess and I went and sat back down. Well, somebody else came up to me and he was like, hey man, you know, I'm giving you a full warning, there's some angry people at you. I'm like, why is there angry people at me? He's like, for the water, for what you did. I'm like, for spilling the water? He was like, yeah, that and other things. I'm like, other things? He's like, yeah, and he told me about what the rumors were. I was like, all right, well, you know, if they want to talk to me about it, they can come talk to me about it. There's not a lot of talking that goes on there. I was sitting in my chair, I was watching TV. I don't remember exactly what I was watching, But all I remember is that somebody had came up and they had pulled my shirt up once. And I thought they were just trying to get my attention. So as I was turning around, they pulled my shirt up again. They pulled me out of the chair and they threw me to the ground. And my first instinct was to turn over, you know, to cover my sides and my head. So I went like this, and I just started feeling hand after hand, foot after foot, just kick and hit my sides, my head, my back, my lower legs, all that. Like, I mean, for a solid 30 to 45 seconds, maybe a minute. I don't know. It was so excruciating and it hurt so bad that I didn't know what to do. And all I could do was just sit there and just take each hit. I found out later that it was between 4 and 5 guys. It was 5 guys at first, and then the 5th guy walked away, so it was just 4 people, and they were just wailing on me with their heart's content, all because of some things that have been said that I didn't even do. So I remember the last hit is they hit me in my lower left ribs, like right under my ribs, and they hit something, and I just remember screaming. Like, I was like, ah! And they all stopped, and, like, you know, people scattered. You know, some people like kind of looked like they wanted to help me up, but nobody would. So I remember I just like kind of pulled myself up, and like everything in my body was screaming in pain. Like I couldn't even move. But, you know, I pushed through it. I got myself up and I went and sat in the chair again. And like a couple people came up to me and they're like, "Hey, are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm in pain right now." They're like, "All right, well, you know, let's go walk." You know, I'm like, "No, I can't walk right now." They're like, "Nah, man, you're good." I'm like, "No, I cannot walk right now." Like, I couldn't move even my fingers, like much less talk, without everything in my body screaming and like hot, fiery pain. Well, I had somebody else come up to me and he's like, "Hey, man, are you good?" And I was like, "I'm all right. You know, I'm in a lot of pain, but, you know, I'll live." And he's like, "All right, well, I'm asking because a couple people want to beat you again." I'm like, "What did this happen for?" They're like, "Because you disrespected some people over that water." I said, "I cleaned up the mess." He goes, "No, it's the other stuff that you did." I said, "What other stuff?" He started listing off all the things that I said. And I was like, "I didn't say any of that." I said, "I went in there, I cleaned up the water." I was like, "So-and-so was in there, you know, with me when I cleaned up the water. You can go ask him." He went and asked him. He came back. He was like, "Dude, this was a big misunderstanding." He's like, "I am so sorry." He goes, "You know, I'll talk to the people that did it." He's like, "If you want to go and you want to, you know, shoot rounds with every single person that did it, if you want to go fight with them, you know, I'll line it up. I'll make sure that it gets done." I'm like, nah, you know, I did something stupid, so something stupid happened back. I guess I can understand that. He's like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." I was like, "Nah, it's all right." Well, I sat in that chair for a good probably hour, just unable to move. And I had people come by, you know, making sure I was all right, because the way that this dorm set up is everybody can see where this happened. This happened right at the front. So, you know, people kept coming up to me, and eventually I had to like hold out my hand. I was like, "I need you to, you know, pick me up. I need you to fucking like help me stand up so that I can go back to my bed and lay down." I could barely walk. Like, I looked like I should have needed a cane. I was like walking like super slow. And I just remember laying down in my bed and laying on my face, and just everything in my body was screaming really bad pain. And later that night, you know, I got up, I figured I'd go shower, and I couldn't even turn over. Like, I couldn't even move. I had to have somebody come up behind me, pick me up by my waist, and set me on the ground. And I know this sounds dramatic, but I was in a lot of pain. Like, I could not move. Once I was standing, you know, I could walk, but I was like hobbling. So I hobbled over to the bathroom, and, you know, as I was about to get in the shower, somebody came up to me and they're like, "Hey, man, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking so bad?" I'm like, "Nothing. You know, I fell. I fell in the shower earlier." He was like, "You fell in the shower earlier?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Because your face is black and blue." I'm like, "I fell in the shower earlier." Well, a guy came out of the shower, and he was one of the people that had been in the incident, and he was like, "Hey, man," he goes, "I want to tell you, you know, that's really cool that you fell in the shower and you ain't telling nobody about it." He goes, "I figured you'd be like some other people and running straight to the nurse and tell everybody that you fell." I'm like, "Nah, you know, I fell in the shower, that's that." He's like, "All right, you good." I went and showered for about 3 days. I could barely walk. About after a day and a half, I could finally get out of my bed without having to have somebody help me. But it was just so bad. After that, I didn't really have any other problems. I mean, there were a couple more fights that were after that, but I'm not going to get into those because I actually talked to those people. I told them about my YouTube, and they were like, I don't want you to put that on there if you don't mind. You know, the only people's names that I've mentioned are those that have allowed me. I've asked all these people, and they said that it was fine with them. That's why I put them on there. That's why I've said their names. But, you know, not much too much really happened. I got a job there as the TA. I was, you know, basically helping teach kids. I helped a couple kids get their GED, and that made me feel really good because some people would come up to me while I'm sitting in the dorm, you know, back sitting on my bed, and people would come up to me and they'd be like, hey man, you know, you help me out with some schoolwork? I was like, yeah, of course. You know, I would be thrilled to help you, you know, anything. And I would help some kids get their GED, and that made me feel really good. And the teacher was like, well, you should be a teacher, and, you know, when you get out, when you're doing good. I'm like, I'll think about it. So I have been thinking about it. I might, because, you know, I do like watching people learn. I like watching people gain some knowledge. Well, like I said, you know, not much happened besides stuff that I can't really mention. I did see some other crazy things. Those are going to be in the next video. But basically, let me talk a little bit about like the food there. The food was so fucking bad. Wow. Like the only appealing thing was the grits, and they were like glue. You had to put salt on them. You could bring butter, but it was so bad. Now we did get pancakes every Saturday, but they just tasted like god awful shit. Like nothing in that place was good food. It was so bad. Like I didn't even want to eat most of the time that I was there, but you know, I had to. You know, when I didn't have canteen, I would go to you know, I'd go and eat, but if I had canteen, chances are I was not going to get that food because it was so bad. I'm also going to be doing a video, just a one-time video, because I've been told that I should, how to cook in prison. You know, like stuff that you can't cook in prison if you guys ever want to try it at home. It's gonna sound really weird. I might do 2 videos because there's cakes and there's setups. But we'll get into that in another video. I'm getting on to my last day now. December 14th. I remember the lead up about basically December 1st, actually no, basically around Halloween. I had hit my year mark of being incarcerated. I had been locked up since October 31st of 2017, and it was then October 31st of what was 2018, because we're in 2019 now. And I just remember sitting there and thinking, it's been a year. It has been an absolute year since I have seen anybody, you know, that wasn't a CO or another inmate. Now, I've seen my family and county over video, but I hadn't seen anybody in person. So it was like, it kind of like hit me. And, you know, I wanted to break down, but I was like, you know, my time's coming to a close. I've only got about 45 days left. You know, my time is almost done. I'm almost home. Well, coming up a little bit farther, got to about Thanksgiving, which was November 22nd or 23rd last year, I believe. And I was like, you know, I'm missing Thanksgiving with my family. I did get to call my family. They were down in Jacksonville because there was like, I don't think it was a hurricane, but something was going on. Or they went to Cracker Barrel, something like that. They did something, but they weren't home. But I did get to talk to them. They did get to tell me Thanksgiving. And, you know, there was just a lot of emotional times in there. Now, coming up on my last like 10, 11 days, the time went super slow. Like all of my time up until then had went by so fast. Like the days were just, I can't snap with my left hand. So like time was just going like super fast. Now, I remember on my night before, I was sitting on my bed and I had all my stuff packed up. I had everything tied up. I had given all my stuff away. I was so ready to go home. And I'd called my grandma that same night, and we were talking. She said, hey, I'm not going to be able to come up and get you. The weather's too bad. I can't drive in the rain. And that kind of scared me. Now, they have to let me go. They'll have my parole officer take me home. But he was supposed to be in court that day. So, like, it was stressing me out. It was scaring me. Eventually, I got to talk to her again, and she told me that everything was going to be all right, that I was going to be coming home, that they decided that he was just going to, you know, reschedule the court date or something, and he was coming to get me. And I was so thankful. But I remember I probably slept for about 30 minutes that night in total. Like, I fell asleep at like 4, And like 4:30, I woke up and I was ready to go. They came and got us, and I remember just going and sitting in this holding cell, and we sat there and sat there. There was about 18 people in this small ass holding cell. I should be smoking a cigarette right now, but I'm too in depth in talking. It's really weird. But I remember sitting there, and I was the second to last person to leave out of 18 people. And I can't tell you, walking out those doors, I was in fresh clothes. And I remember just walking outside the gate, and I've actually got this on me. I do carry it with me everywhere I go, and I'm gonna show it to you guys. Probably should have had this prepared. This was my ID while I was in there. I had to have this to get food. I had to have this to walk around the yard. You guys know my name. You guys know my birthday. That was what they did to my hair. And they gave me this sticker. It said released. They stuck that on the back and they signed it. And just like this weight just came off my shoulders. And I was like, I was breathless. I didn't know what to do. And I just remember as I walked out the door, he's like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we walked out the first door, and then there's another gate out there. And we went and walked out the gate. I just kind of like stopped. I mean, it was cloudy, you know, it was drizzling rain, but I just like stopped and I like looked up at the sky, and I was like, "Oh my God, you know, I'm free." I pinched my arm. I swear to God, I pinched my arm about 5 times to make sure that I was actually, you know, free. The entire ride home, you know, my parole officer and a fellow parole officer who was riding with him kept trying to talk to me, but I was just very silent. You know, I didn't exactly know what to make of the situation because I'd been behind, you know, bars for over a year, 13 and a half months to the day. And it was mind-blowing to me that I was finally going home. I didn't know how I would react. I honestly thought my first time in Walmart, I was gonna have a mental breakdown from seeing all the people and like all the food and a bunch of stuff like that. But I didn't. But I do remember as we were driving back, we had probably been in the car for about 15, 20 minutes, and we're going down the highway, and I just see this bucket come flying. All right, because I'm almost home. Oh wow, sounds a lot different. But I had seen this bucket, you know, just fly past and hit our car, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And they're like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure this isn't a dream right now, because that's some dream level stuff." And they're like, "No, you're not dreaming. You're going home." And I remember driving all the way back down through South Carolina. I remember driving into Myrtle Beach and, you know, seeing everything that was familiar to me, and it was crazy, you know, thinking I was like, this is just all a dream. I'm just gonna wake up in like 5 seconds and I'm gonna be right back in the dorm in my bed. I'm not really gone. Made it all the way through Myrtle Beach down to Surfside where I live, and, you know, like we pulled into my neighborhood, and I'm actually walking into my neighborhood right now. That's what's really funny. And just like the feeling was overwhelming, and, you know, he started going over all my rules, you know, my curfew, stuff like that. And I was just like, yeah, you know, I got you, I'm good. And I just remember stopping in front of my house and like looking up at it, and I was like, you know, that's my house. You know, I'm about to walk inside my house. And I was almost in tears. They said, "All right, go have a good first day." I got out of the car, you know, I carried all my stuff, and my grandma didn't know when exactly I was going to be home. She just knew I was going to be home. And I just walked up to the door, and I like rang the doorbell. And, you know, she always calls down. She's like, "Who is it?" I said, "It's me." And she opened the door, and she just gave me this big hug, and she started crying. And I don't know if I should mention this or not, because I don't know if it can get me in trouble. I don't think it can, but I'm going to try to set this up so that you guys can see. Let's see. Alright, so that sun's in my eyes. But when I got home, I was wearing a t-shirt. Right now, I'm obviously not wearing a t-shirt. I'm actually wearing a long sleeve with this. But I was wearing a t-shirt. So, you know, I was looking like this. Now, if you guys have seen my other YouTube videos, before I left, you guys know I only had my Eye of Horus tattoo. I got a couple more. Hold up. I can't really think of how to show that because the lighting fucking sucks. There's another one right here, and then there's another one right here. Can't really show it all that well, but it basically just says Ohio on it. And she just looks at me, and she's like, you know, she was hugging me. I could tell she was about to cry, and the first thing that she said was, "You got some new tattoos?" And I said, yeah, I did. And I went upstairs, I had my first bite of food, I had my first cigarette, and I was almost in tears the entire night. Like, for the first week, I was trying to comprehend that I was home, and it's finally set in again, but it's so weird, even still now, being that, you know, it's set in, but I still just can't fully fathom that, you know, I'm at home, I'm with my family again. So, actually, I'm gonna extend this one. This is a long-ass video. So I hope you guys aren't too annoyed by that. I probably could have cut this up into two, but it probably would have been roughly around the same time. So I'm going to finish this up here. Take heed from what I say. There's obviously going to be some more videos about this. This is just, you know, the baseline video. If you guys have any questions, please like, comment, subscribe. Ask me questions. I will answer almost any and all of them. I love to. I love sitting here talking to you guys. I love making these videos. I'm going to continue making these videos. Send me video ideas. I would love to, you know, like, I would love to meet up with some of you guys, especially those that are in Myrtle Beach that are my friends. I would love to do videos with you guys, and just, you know, reconnect with a lot of people. But don't do, I know I said it so many times in the last video, but take warning from what I say. Do not go and do some dumb shit. If you think it has any chance of leading you into going into prison, or at least going to jail, don't do it. It is not worth it. It is not worth, you know, seeing your family have to struggle while you're gone, seeing your loved ones, seeing, you know, your spouses, your partners, all that. It is not worth it. It is so painful to just be there and have to deal with stupid people. It's not worth it. Please take my advice and listen when I tell you. You do not want to go through that. Alright, well, that's about it. I'm ending this video here. I will see you guys in the next video. I don't know yet what I'm doing. There's probably going to be more talking about this, more just talking, or I might just be walking around ranting. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Smoke a blunt for me. Deuces.